Call the Kitty Hawk Town Council to order this Monday, December 6, 2021 at Kitty Hawk Town Hall. It is now 6 p.m. Would you join us for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, do we hear a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve, Mr. Mayor.
Does it have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. All right. Folks, give me just a minute and I'll get out of your hair. Folks, none of us truly know what life will bring us as we wander through this world. In 2005, I'm asked to run for a council seat, get elected, have to leave a paying job for a $100 a month stipend and many local headaches. I'm so smart. I don't really know what I'm doing in the political world. Never mind, said Town Clerk Lynn Morris. We know how to train newbies. Neither of us realized I might become an elderly Obie. Now, 16 years later, it's time for this council to have a fresh set of eyes and ears on local governance of the community. It has been an honor to serve and a humbling experience to be chosen. That said, no departure would be complete or proper without acknowledging many who make the system work. Citizens of Kitty Hawk, please know that you are blessed with excellent general staff, police, fire, and public works employees. The council you have selected are dedicated to the welfare of this town. On a local level, you are in good hands. On the federal level, not so much. There are lesser known but equally important persons and institutions that have contributed to this community. I would like to address some of them now. Former County Commissioner Warren Judge, whom did not allow two towns to take all the beach nourishment tax money, but instead find a way for all towns to benefit. Who can deny the enormous benefit to both Kitty Hawk and the unflooded 158 transit corridor for Dare County? To the local Kirtland Times newspaper for helping the town answer all the questions local stakeholders had regarding MSD maps, taxing mechanisms, and how constituency could have a say in the whole process. It was an important source for reaching many people. Former Governor Pat McCrory. He came for a county visit, met with all the mayors prior to a public forum and asked what we needed. Taking the opportunity, he was advised that the town between the highways was subject to repeated flooding from rain and ocean overwash. Help was needed with CAMA and DNR issues concerning installing dewatering systems, plus obtaining timely permission to discharge floodwater to the ocean. Within a month, responsible state agencies came to town, assisted in determining how we could install pump-out piping, and coordinated a way to reach agency staff for timely permission to pump floodwater. The result was town-financed and installed pump-out stations and written state procedures for emergency response to flooding situations. Civil engineer John DeLucia, whom has worked on many of the important and desirable projects completed in this town. Each time you put the best interest of taxpayer front and center when trying to construct a highly beneficial project with minimum financial outlay. State Representative Bobby Hanig, who managed to get money placed into the state budget, which will allow the town to have on hand all the floodwater pumps necessary to hook up 7 pumps to 7 pump-out sites without having to outguess nature and the cost incurred when we get it wrong. Town Attorney Casey Varnell for the solid, well-researched legal and ethical questions I placed before him during my attendance on control group response to COVID-19. I became alarmed that a single group of elected leaders was making questionable decisions, potentially harmful to constituents without benefit of full and open council debate and decision. As a result, the council was and will continue to be much better informed regarding how emergency decisions should be made when open meetings are not held. I am sure many deserving persons have been missed, and I apologize. Now it's time for me to shut up and move on. Lynn, it's time to swear in the newly elected members. Thank you.
I, Fred Garrett,
Do swear that I will well and truly execute the duties of the office as mayor for the town council of Kitty Hawk according to the best of my skill and authority, according to the law, so help me God. I
Fred Garrett,
do solemnly swear that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as mayor for the town council of Kitty Hawk, so help me God.
so help me God.
Just gonna let them say it now. If you want to announce.
Okay. This time, folks, my first act of mayor will be swearing in Council-elect woman Charlotte Walker and Council-elect Jeff Pruitt.
Ready? I state your name.
Jeff Pruitt,
Do swear that I will well and truly execute the duties of the office of town council for the town of Kitty Hawk according to the best of my skill and authority, according to the law, so help me God. I
Jeff Pruitt,
do solemnly swear that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as a council member for the town of Kitty Hawk, so help me God.
so help me God.
Welcome.
And now, council, we need to elect a mayor pro tem, so I will take nominations for that office at this time, please.
I'll make a motion to nominate Jeff Pruitt as Mayor Pro Tem.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any more nominations? Okay, all those in favor of Jeff Pruitt for mayor pro tem, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Jeff, you're welcome to have it, buddy.
I
Jeff Pruitt,
do swear that I will well and truly execute the duties of the office as Mayor Pro Tem for the Town Council of Kitty Hawk according to the best of my skill and authority, according to the law, so help me God. I
Jeff Pruitt,
do solemnly swear that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as Mayor Pro Tem for the town of Kitty Hawk, so help me God.
so help me God.
Okay, folks, we're going to take just a couple-minute recess to move some chairs around, some seating positions. We will reconvene in a couple of minutes. That will be followed by short remarks from newly elected members.
The presentation too.
Okay. Do that first? I told you it's my first meeting, folks. Mayor Perry, would you come up, please? Then you can get out of here like I said. I don't know where to start with Mayor Perry. He has been a good friend to Kitty Hawk, the town of Kitty Hawk, the citizens, people, staff for many years. Just a few months ago, we presented Mayor Perry with an honor of the new walking path at Kitty Hawk Park, new trail. It was dedicated in his name. There's a plaque there at the end of the trail. But we wanted to do something a little more, Mr. Mayor, and I know you're looking at this, you know what it is. It's a gavel, kind of similar to what he has behind here. But I want to ask something of you before I present it to you. What I want you to do is hang this in your office and remember the good times and bad times that you had here in Town Council of the Town of Kitty Hawk. What I do not want you to do is when you're watching a council meeting on YouTube and you see me do something stupid like I just did, please don't take the gavel and hit the wall with it, okay? Don't try to adjourn the meeting from your living room, all right? So this is a gavel presented to you, presented to Gary L. Perry. 16 years of serving honorably, compassionately, tirelessly, Kitty Hawk Town Council, 2005 to 2021, and he was mayor from 2013 to 2021. Congratulations, Mayor Perry.
Things are a little bit overwhelming. I said enough tonight, so I won't go any further. But I do thank you all, and you are in good hands. The town is safe, and let's keep her going. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Gary.
And now, folks, we're going to take that short recess and reconvene in just a few minutes.
Okay, now.
Lynn, are we ready?
We can be rowdy on this side.
Okay, folks, we're going to call the meeting back to order. First, we'll have some remarks by newly elected members and council members. Councilwoman Charlotte Walker, why don't you go first, please?
Thank you, Mayor Garris. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my husband for empowering me to make this move and leap. And I also would like to thank the voters for their confidence in my ability to serve. I take this responsibility very seriously, and I'm very appreciative of that. I'm excited to be a part of this Kitty Hawk Town Council, and I look forward to working with each of the members of the board, and we'll face the challenges as they come and be prepared for that. So my immediate goals for this office are to be, I'd like to be an asset to the board and to care for and to preserve the Kitty Hawk, the town of Kitty Hawk that we all love, and so thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte. Jeff?
First of all, I'd really like to thank the citizens of Kitty Hawk. It's an honor to hold this position, and it was really humbling Election Day to see the young adults showing up, as well as our seniors that showed up. I'm sure we saw the effort that some people put in just to coming out and voting that day, and it was very moving. I'd like to thank the staff. Being re-elected, a lot of times the longer you're here, the more things they can find to pick on you about. The staff here has done a great job, and that helps as a council member for us to do our job and gain the respect of our residents. I'd also like former Mayor Gary Perry, that's just left us, for all of his work he's done. He has guided us through some difficult times, the virus, through beach nourishment, through sound stabilization, through the flooding problem in between our highways, and it's been an honor to have worked with him and been a part of that. I also am really excited to work with Charlotte and with our newly elected Mayor Garris. We've been together our career since we started on the planning board and council, and looking forward to continue working with him. And other than that, I'd like to thank my family. We all know that a lot of us take some of this home with us, and our family has to put up with it. And I thank my wife and my children, and if y'all saw my mom, she's 92. And she retired from working here at the town, and my father was a councilman for a long time, and I'm glad for the knowledge and the love that they showed me for Kitty Hawk that made me love it as well. So thank you again for letting me serve you, and feel free to call me at any time. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Folks, I cannot begin to tell everyone what an honor it is to be sitting in this chair as your Kitty Hawk mayor. Since Kitty Hawk was incorporated in 1981, I am just the 8th different person to hold that title. I do not take that responsibility lightly. As I've said many times before, I have some big shoes to fill following in the footsteps of Mayor Perry, an awesome, very smart man. I want to thank everyone in this room, everyone watching online, and of course, everyone who voted for me. But most of all, I want to thank my family, those that are here tonight, those that are watching from home, for your continued support. Kitty Hawk is a wonderful place to live and call home. It has been my home for over 25 years. I'm very excited about serving the town with this council. We have a lot of work to do. We have some big projects facing us, and we must work together to get those projects done. When I was preparing for tonight, I kept thinking back to some things I learned about leadership many years ago. And those things are, do the right thing, do it the right way, do it at the right time, and do it for the right reason. Council, I want us all to remember these things when we make decisions, and to always do the right thing for the town of Kitty Hawk, its citizens, its employees, and the many people who visit our beautiful town each and every day. I'd also like to thank and congratulate Mayor Pro Tem Jeff Pruitt, Councilwoman Charlotte Walker, as we join Councilwoman Lynn McLean and Councilman David Hines. I feel we have a great and strong team in place, no doubt about it. Now, Council, I hope you're ready. Let's get to work for the good of the people. Thank you. Okay, our next item of business, Andy Stewart, I think, has a special guest to bring up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Congratulations to everybody. Look forward to working with each and every one of you. To get on to the regular business, we have a Eagle Scout that's here with us this evening, Hunter Crum. He's with Pack 117, the Boy Scouts of Pack 117, and he's been working on his Eagle Scout badge. And one of the projects that he approached me with probably about 7 or 8 months ago was to, you want to come on up, Hunter? One of the projects that he was asking us, what is it that the town needed and what could he help with to make Kitty Hawk a better place to live, work, and play. And at the time, we were just, I believe, we were just applying for the Connected Trail grant, which was about a $200,000 grant that we ended up receiving. So Hunter stepped up and we said that we needed some mile markers along our trail system. So with his help, we were able to put up mile markers every half mile. Is that correct, Hunter? On the 3 mile trail, so every quarter mile. So we did these markers, as you'll see here. I took a picture of them. That's the start of the trail. Obviously, that's the 0 mile marker, and that goes all the way up to Birch Lane, and it's every quarter mile. So if you're on the trail now, you know who did that project, and you'll know where you're at, how many miles you've walked in the trail. So, Hunter, we appreciate you, and you're still working on your Eagle Scout. When you know when you expect to have that, you think?
Likely at the end of the month.
In the winter? Okay. So, and you're a Kitty Hawk resident. He's also a Kitty Hawk. You want to turn around?
Thank you.
They want to see your face, all that hard work you did. So we appreciate it, and good luck on your journey towards the Eagle Scout. I know that's a really big deal, and the town's here for you if you need anything. We appreciate what you've done. And Hunter's also, like I said before, a town resident, so we appreciate your volunteerism. So, do you want to say anything? More than welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hunter.
Thank you.
Very much.
All right, folks, now we come to the public comment section of our meeting. Is there anyone wishes to speak? Lynn, has anyone signed up?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Jamie Ward.
Okay, if you come up, please. Please try to limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen of the council, thank you for letting me speak. I'd like to talk to you about the accessory dwelling unit law 42528, specifically section C. We voted to only have them in the front and the backyard. I live on the Woods Road, the west side. Most of our houses are 400 feet from the road. This summer I spoke to the town planner. He informed me of the 2 types of accessory dwelling units. He told me that I would be going with the old law. Now we have a new law. I had already started my project. I've got plans drawn up. I've got my lot cleared, I was preparing to submit my building permit. I no longer can get a building permit. So I'd like to ask you to make a text amendment to this, maybe not in your immediate front yard. I feel like it's not gonna harm anybody, it's not gonna be an eyesore, and that's my request.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, Mr. Ward. Anyone else signed up, Lynn? Does anyone else wish to speak at public comment about any topic? Does not have to be on tonight's agenda. Okay, no one else? Okay, thank you. Council, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda, please.
Mr. Mayor, I motion to approve the consent agenda.
Any second?
Second.
All right, David second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Item 12, we had no items removed from the consent agenda. Public hearings. Can I get a motion to go into public hearing, please?
Motion to go into public hearing?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, Rob, item 13.8, zoning text amendment.
All right, the first text amendment we have tonight deals with sections 42-1, 42-619, and 42-622, which is the trailer park ordinances and definitions, as well as 42-275, which is VR3. So the requested text amendment it proposes to make various changes to the requirements of what is currently listed in the zoning ordinance as trailer parks. For many, the term trailer park is interchangeable with the manufactured home park, although the way our ordinance defines trailers and trailer parks, it is aimed at regulating a park for recreational activities or recreational vehicles, whether they're camping trailers, motor homes, travel trailers, or what have you. Additionally, the proposed text amendment would allow the trailer parks or RV parks as a special use in the VR3 district, the high-density village residential. You can see I've highlighted in your staff report all the proposed changes. I'll kind of briefly just go through them. So the first proposed amendment would change the definition from trailer to recreational vehicle. Additionally, the specific definition for the travel trailer has been amended from 32 feet in length to 45 feet in length. I think at the time that the original travel trailer ordinance was written, that was probably the standard length, but as the years have gone on, there have been some changes to the RVs that you see on the road these days, and allow them to exceed that 32 feet. Additionally, the changes to 42-619 are proposed that would reduce the number of showers and toilets required from 1 for each sex for every 10 RV spaces to 1 per every 20. Many of the motorhomes and travel trailers built today contain their own toilet and shower facilities, so requiring one for every 10 spaces may be excessive. 1 toilet, 1 lavatory, and 1 shower for each sex for each 20 camping spaces is also a standard that Dare County requires in their travel trailer parks. And a lot of the proposals that the applicant came to me with kind of line up with what Dare County has in their ordinances. The proposal also includes a reduction in the minimum camping space size from 2,000 square feet to 1,500 square feet. Again, this one's also consistent with what Dare County currently requires. Currently, Kitty Hawk's ordinance requires a 20-foot wide paved interior drive that would be the sole access to a public right-of-way. The proposed amendment also uses standards currently used by Dare County by requiring a minimum width of 20 feet for two-way traffic or 12 feet in width for one-way traffic. And instead of requiring internal access road be paved, the proposed amendment allows ABC or STBC Type 3 coarse materials or asphalt millings or recycled asphalt to be used for the internal drive. The proposal eliminates the current requirement of 1/2 acre of open space per every 10 RV sites. There's still a requirement listed in the proposal to provide open space for recreation, but the minimum size is not defined. And lastly, the proposal sets a maximum lot coverage regardless of zoning district at 60%. Both of these are also consistent with Dare County regulations. After some discussions back and forth with the applicant in an effort to ensure that the park remains for short-term recreational use and not permanent living spaces, item 16 was added to the proposal that would prohibit individual sale of RV sites to keep everything under single ownership. During the planning board review, the possibility of a minimum parcel size of 4 acres for a RV park site was discussed, as well as potential time limit for a single user to stay in the campground for no longer than 90 days at a time. Those weren't included in the recommendation as it was a 3-2 vote with a recommendation for denial, so the additional items we discussed were not included in it. You can see the table I put in the staff report there. I did, as I was preparing the initial staff report, just kind of looked around at some ordinances from different areas across the country, how they regulate RV parks. This is potentially the first time that we might have changes to the ordinance since it looks like about 1990, so it's not something that I've dealt with. So I was trying to kind of look around at some other localities as well. And as I noted, the request would allow RV parks as a special use in the VR3 high-density residential district. The VR3 district is made up of approximately 33 acres in town. It's located on the north side of West Kitty Hawk Road across from Poor Ridge Road, and extends up to about Twyford Street. There are currently 3 legal non-conforming trailer parks in town, being the Preserve, located off of Twyford and the Woods Road, which is in that VR3 district. The Kitty Hawk RV Park and Charlie's RV Park, both between the highways. And it should be noted that in the case of Charlie's RV Park and the Preserve, the travel trailers have become more kind of permanent in nature. I know a lot of the ones at Charlie's have decks and all built around. This is not what this is proposed at allowing. The proposed regulation 16, as mentioned, would prohibit them from being used as permanent living quarters. It would create a zoning violation for the park owner if they had anybody that tried to take up permanent residence. As I mentioned, the 3 that we currently have, the Preserve, Charlie's, and Kitty Hawk RV Park, are legal non-conforming trailer parks. So the language that's currently written into the trailer park ordinance does not apply to what's on the ground there now, and the changes that we would or would not make that are being proposed here would not affect their non-conforming status either. So they wouldn't have to go in and change a bunch of things to conform to the new language. So the VR3 district is established as an area in Kitty Hawk Village in which the principal use of the land is for high-density residential purposes, the development of less intensive residential uses, as well as compatible supporting uses. Currently in the VR3 district, detached single-family dwellings, duplexes, multifamily dwellings, and manufactured home parks are permitted by right. Manufactured homes are permitted by right. And manufactured home parks and tent camping as an accessory special use to the hostel are permitted as special uses in the district, among other less comparable uses such as churches, cemeteries, playgrounds, nursing homes. And that VR3 district is shown as a higher density residential area on the future land use map. And then as we were getting this put together, I was looking around at some of the economic impact of RVing and RV parks, because like I said, it's something that I'm not familiar with before starting to draft this up. And I've attached the report from the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis, their 2020 report. Outdoor recreation economy accounted for 1.8% of the GDP for the nation. That came to $374.3 billion. At the state level, outdoor recreation accounted for 1.7% of North Carolina state GDP. Nationally, RVing specifically was the second largest conventional outdoor activity adding $19.1 billion behind boating, boating and fishing, which many visitors to Outer Banks would also be participating in. I did put in a request to the Chamber of Commerce to learn if they had any more localized numbers. You see in the report, I had not had a response when I wrote that, and I still have not heard back, so I don't have any Dare County specific numbers for you. You can see the attachments. I gave you the Dare County ordinance, since a lot of the proposals line up with that, as well as the zoning map highlighting the BR3 district and the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis Outdoor Recreation 2020 report. The applicants are here as well. If they have anything to add, I'll pull up on here where the BR3 district is for you. You can see kind of in the middle of the screen here, to the west of the Woods Road, and I think the boundary follows a little creek back there down to Kitty Hawk Road, and that's the extent of the BR3 district. And I will note too, one thing that kind of got hung up on the planning board discussions a little bit. The proposal for tonight is for a text amendment, not the special use permit application. So the request tonight didn't have anything to do with site specifics or how many campsites they're looking to do or where it's located. This is just to give them the ability to apply for a site-specific special use at a later date if it gets approved. A lot of times, the text amendments and special use permit applications will run concurrently, and it's hard to differentiate between which one we're talking about. So I just wanted to clarify that we're just dealing with the text amendment at this point.
Okay, does council have any questions for Rob right now?
I do. So, Rob, do you feel like the vote that the 3-2 was due to some confusion between the two, the confusion maybe site plan with the text amendment?
I think some of the site considerations played into some of the vote. I don't know that there was confusion, but I think they were having a hard time separating the thought from the text amendment versus the site-specific application. But I do think it weighed into it some.
So did you?
Yes.
Anybody else have a question of Rob?
I basically had the same question.
Okay,
So,
okay. Are the applicants here? Would you like to come up and speak?
I'm Sherry Beecham, and
Ms. Beecham.
I have the property behind the hospital. I think we've got, is it 4.67 acres? Between the two parcels, and we just want the ability to be able to try to develop a RV park. It won't be anyone permanently living there. There will not be decks built around it or sheds built to it. It'll be an RV park where people come in and camp, and they use the parks that we have, the ocean that we have a vacation, and then leave and other people come in. We have just gone basically by what the county has, and I think the county just did something new. It was, what, a year or so ago, wasn't it?
I believe so.
And now that they have developed something over in Manio, which I can't remember the name of that one, Cypress Cove or something.
I don't recall.
So that's what we're just trying to get the amendments approved so that we may be able to develop. We don't have a site plan yet. We don't have a septic plan, anything like that until we move forward with the amendments. We still will do the ingress egress to the neighbors behind us. There's 2 neighbors behind us. That won't change a bit.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Does anyone wishes to speak at this portion of the public hearing? Okay, if not, can I get a motion to go back into regular session, please?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to go back into regular session.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, council, we've got some cleaning up of terms. There's a lot more to it than that. What are your thoughts? What would you like to do, council?
Mayor, I have spoke with the applicant and prior to the meeting, and there isn't a rush time frame. I would like to get this cleared up exactly what we're going into here. Maybe deferring it and have an opportunity to talk to some of the planning board members to see what the problem was, and maybe to clean this up a little bit so that we understand it a little bit better. We're not, once again, just like Rob stated, we're strictly right now looking at the ability to do that kind of a thing, and we're not talking how many or per acre or showers or really anything at this time. Just are we going to let that activity happen there? And I do think there was confusion, and I would like to maybe just, if we could defer it. The applicant didn't seem to have a problem with that, if any other council members would entertain that motion.
Would you like to make a motion?
Yes, sir, I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Mayor, to defer this until would be what, the January meeting.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, is there any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor of putting this topic, public hearing 13A, off until the January meeting, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Thank you, Rob. We've got another zoning map amendment. Make a motion do I have a motion to go back into public hearing, please?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to go back into public hearing.
Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Rob?
All right, this proposal is a zoning map amendment. Staff initiated proposal to rezone 4907, 4911, 4915, and 4919 Putter Lane from low-density beach residential to emergency and governmental services. The 4 subject parcels are town-owned and are being planned for the development of the new Kitty Hawk Police Department and Pierre County EMS hub. Town-owned and leased facilities are permitted in any zoning district. However, the development is limited to the dimensional requirements of that zoning district. Additionally, having a police station and EMS hub located in an emergency and governmental services district would be more appropriately labeled than low-density residential zone. Prior to developing the lots for eventual police department office building, the 4 lots would need to be recombined into one single lot and readdressed with a North Croton highway address. The subject properties were acquired by the town as part of a land swap that allowed the development of the Kitty Hawk Urgent Care. The existing Kitty Hawk Police Department, located on West Kitty Hawk Road, is a former post office building that was built in 1961. The building is located within the special flood hazard area and is subject to routine flooding during tropical events and heavy rainfall. The proposed location allows for the new structure to be built to today's standards for public safety structures, as well as moves it out of the flood zone and onto higher ground. The adjoining property to the west is zoned BR1 as part of the Seascape Golf Links. The 2 adjacent properties to the north include 2 vacant parcels zoned low-density beach residential, followed by several single-family dwellings in the same zoning district. To the east, across 158, the mixture of single-family residences and 1 vacant parcel, all zoned low-density beach residential. And to the immediate south is the Coldwell Banker Realty Office, followed by several commercial developments, all zoned as BC1, General Beach Commercial. Let's see. So one thing that always kind of comes up when we're talking about zoning map amendments and rezonings is the concern of spot zoning. And I've attached an article from the School of Government, and Casey and I spoke about that on this one quite a bit. That so it should be noted that, as I mentioned, the concern arises from rezoning a smaller area of land such as this, of spot zoning. According to David Owens, he's now retired from the UNC School of Government, I think living locally around here now. Small-scale rezonings are permissible when given a stricter judicial scrutiny. Spot zoning is not illegal in North Carolina. The courts have held that spot zoning must not be arbitrary or capricious. Courts have emphasized the need for a reasonable basis to justify spot zoning. With small-scale or spot zoning map amendments, the local government must affirmatively show the reasonableness of its action. After discussion with the town attorney, staff's opinion that zoning the 4 subject parcels as MS1 is reasonable due to the need to relocate the police department, consider a critical facility to an area of town that is not in a special flood hazard area, is not prone to routine flooding, and into a modern building constructed to modern public safety standards. As council is aware, town-owned and leased facilities are permitted in any zoning district, so the parcels could be rezoned to BC1 as it would be merely extending the existing BC1 zone northward. However, it's staff's opinion that the proposed use for a police station is more appropriately zoned for the Emergency and Governmental Services District. The Planning Board at its October 14th, 2021 meeting unanimously recommended approval of the proposed zoning map amendments from BR1 to MS1 for the 4 properties listed. And you can see I've got it pulled up on the map here. Only the southern one is highlighted, but it extends to this property boundary right here. That's all I've got prepared. Is there any questions for me?
Thank you, Rob. Anybody have any questions for Rob?
No.
Is there anyone here tonight who wishes to speak in this portion of public hearing? All right. That being said, can I get a motion to go back into regular session, please?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to go back into regular session.
Can you get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, council? We're finally getting somewhere, it looks like. What do you want to do with this subject?
I'll make a motion, if it's the right time.
Yes, sir.
I move to grant approval of the proposal to rezone the portion of the properties at 4907, 4911, 4915, and 4919 Putter Lane from beach residential to emergency and governmental services. Town council finds that the proposed use is consistent with the town's adopted Campbell land use plan and finds that this to be in the public interest.
Can you get a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion before we ask for a vote? All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, we've got one more public hearing. I need another motion to go back into public hearing, please.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we go back into public hearing.
Thank you, Lynn. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Rob, it is yours again, sir.
All right, this one is for a text amendment dealing with the MS1, the Emergency Governmental Services District. Back in 2018, Town Council adopted language that allows for a physical covered area of up to 72% in commercial zoning districts in town when used in conjunction with permeable pavement. The proposed language below extends the same allowance to the MS1 district. You can see the proposal, the maximum allowable lot coverage by principal use and all accessory structures is 60%. Use of permeable pavement shall allow a maximum lot coverage physical area of 72%. Permeable pavement failure shall require that the failed permeable pavement is removed and replaced by a pavement meeting the definition of permeable pavement herein. with design pavement performance equal to or better than the represented performance of the approved pavement. So that language is the exact language that was approved for the commercial districts 3 years ago. This would just be putting the same language in that MS1 district. You can see in the staff report, I've included some other relevant definitions that were a part of that 2018 approval. Nothing's proposed to change with any of those. I just thought it might benefit council to get a refresher on those. So the permeable paving methods allow for the stormwater infiltration to infiltrate through the paving systems. I believe the way it's defined, the way it's acted, it'll have to act as 100% pervious to be able to qualify for that additional lot coverage. Currently, the language is included in the BC1, BC2, BC3, VC1, VC2, VC3, and VH1 districts. The concept of the text amendment is that in no case would any property owner be able to exceed the current level of lot coverage, 60% for commercial, regarding the standard lot coverage considerations, which is the buildings, decks, impervious concrete. Should a property owner use the permeable pavement as defined in the definition, they would then be able to use that material to exceed the current lot coverage by 12%, so up to the 72% total covered area. I've got some more in the staff report if you need me to explain some more, but I feel like I can kind of leave it there as we're just kind of proposing to extend it to what we already have in place for a lot of other districts into that MS1 district. And I will note that this is coming along at the same time as the rezoning application. I don't know if I don't know that the site plan is far enough along that they even know what their lot coverage is going to be for the proposed police department. But I felt that in addition to this already being the practice for the other zoning districts, in the event that they needed that flexibility for the permeable pavement, it would be good to go ahead and get this in place as well.
Okay. And I think the biggest thing here for public, we're allowing up to 72% as long as it's permeable pavement, so.
Right, so it would still be, like I said, the 60%, if they don't use permeable pavement anywhere, they're still bound by that 60% coverage. And they could use a combination and have 60% impervious, building, sidewalks, what have you, and then do another 12% of the lot in that permeable pavement to get up to that 72% total. But in no case will it exceed the standard lot coverage. Impervious surfaces will not exceed 60%.
Thank you, Rob. Any questions from council for Rob? Is there anyone here tonight wishes to speak on this subject in public hearing? If not, I'll make a motion myself to go back into regular session. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, council, what do you want to do?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion.
Go ahead.
I move to adopt the proposed text amendment to Section 42-446E, allowing the same lot coverage bonus for permeable pavement in the MS1 district as is currently permitted in the town's commercial districts. Town council has found this proposal to be consistent with the town's adopted land use plan.
Thank you, Lynn. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, Rob, that's it for you, correct? Let's hope so, right? Okay, council, item 14, need to schedule a public hearing. Who wants to make that motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move to set a public hearing at the town council meeting on January the 10th, 2021 to consider the proposed text amendment to section 42-414 to allow multifamily dwellings developments in the planned commercial development as a special use with a maximum density of 14 dwellings per acre.
Thank you, Jeff. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, public hearing is set. Item 15, new business. Andy, I think this is you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The next item on your agenda is a proposal to allocate $1 million of the unrestricted general fund balance to Fund 40, which is the new police department station fund. This request comes on the heels of the audit that was presented at our last meeting. As you recall, we had an outstanding audit. The town's in a very strong financial position, which allows us to put away a little bit more funding for the police station, and that's what this request is before you this evening in a nutshell. Currently, the town's unrestricted fund balance is about $4.4 million, and that's in addition to our $3.5 million restricted emergency reserve. So after our audit confirmed those numbers, town staff is recommending the town earmark $1 million of that $4.4 million of the unrestricted fund balance to Fund 40, which is our fund for the new police station. The town currently has $2 million in cash set aside, so this would make the total amount set aside at this point about $3 million. So we're able to do that for being under budget, and we've also had a very successful year with revenues last year as a result of COVID, and the amount of revenues exceeded expenditures. So tonight, town staff's recommending allocating $1 million to Fund 40 for the new police station, and approval of the budget amendment, which would recognize this transaction, which it's attached, that you can see there in your attachments. So tonight, that's all I have this evening. I'll have any questions. I'll also give you a brief update because I know you're probably asking about where we're at with the police station. We're currently waiting to hear back from Dare County. They're trying to get approval for the funding for their portion of the EMS station, and so of course, being that that's a joint project, before we proceed with drawings and those things, we have to make sure that they're going to be on board. So they've got a capital improvements board that they have to go before to get approval for the budgeted amount. So we should have something back here in the next week from the county, and then we'll proceed further with the plans of the
Thank you,
station.
Andy. Anyone have any questions for Andy? If not, does council mind if I make this motion? I'll make a motion to allocate $1 million to Fund 40 for the new police station and approve the fiscal year 21-22 budget amendment number 7, transferring this amount to reserves for the project. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Very good. I tell you, Andy, I think you've got something else for us here.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The next item on the agenda is consider a one-time lump sum inflationary pay adjustment for employees. At the beginning of the fiscal year, July 1st, 2021, town employees received a one-step increase in accordance with the town's pay classification plan. However, a cost of living adjustment was not considered at its time. We typically don't consider cost of living adjustments. In the past, we've stuck to the town pay classification plan and made adjustments according to that plan. At the beginning of the year, this was not considered, just really due to still uncertainties of revenue projections and scheduled large capital improvements. But as you see tonight, we were able to put another $1 million aside for the future police department. So after we received the audit for fiscal year at our last meeting, the town ended the year with revenues exceeding expenditures. What this request is it's recommending a one-time lump sum inflationary adjustment in the amount of $400 for all full-time employees and $200 for part-time to aid with the significant increases that have been experienced in the 2021 Consumer Price Index. Inflation experienced over the past 12 months since the step increase has surpassed the increase given to employees for the current fiscal year. I've done a calculation. What we've done is we've taken the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the CPI for the past 12 months, just on the necessities such as food, water, housing, utility bills, and one other bill here you can see, clothes and apparel and gasoline. So if you take the average salary of the town overall, the 2% increase represented approximately a $1,000 increase for the employees at the beginning of this fiscal year. And so far to date, just the cost of inflation on the necessity items is $1,389 is what it will represent to our employees. So unlike private businesses, our employees are unable to increase their prices to offset their expenses. And what we're requesting tonight is a one-time adjustment to help out, to help our employees out during this time of really, inflation that's going to be an issue, and that'll allow us to address it moving forward. Next budget year, we'll take a look at the cost of inflation and those types of things as we move forward. But for this year, we're requesting the one-time lump sum of $400 for full-time employees and $200 for part-time employees, and it would be around $25,000 expense to the town, and that money would come from our reserve. So it's a one-time expense.
Thank you, Andy. Any questions for Andy on this matter? Can I entertain a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve a one-time lump sum year-end inflationary adjustment in the amount of $400 for full-time employees, $200 for part-time employees and active volunteers, as suggested by Andy.
Very good. Can I get a second? Lynn, second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Council, I think you noticed the two items we just discussed have a lot to do with the great people we have working on our budget, Andy and his staff. Thank you, Andy. Great job. Reports from Town Manager. Andy, it's you again, sir.
Just a reminder, the January 10th Town Council meeting will be the second Monday due to the new year. So make sure you mark your calendars. Also, special thanks to Lynn and Tom McLean. They donated lots of American flags that they had and some other paraphernalia to the Kitty Hawk Cub Scouts, and they handed those out in the parade. So I know both of you guys are here tonight, so appreciate the community support from you two. The Cub Scouts absolutely love doing that. So, and then I've already given you an update on the police station. I know Councilmember Hines was going to have that question, but we are waiting just to hear back from the county. And then once we get an official word back from them, we'll send them out. They've already done some things in advance until we can get them the final go-ahead. Then they'll get us a set of plans so we can put the project out to bid. So I think at this point, we're just in a standstill waiting to hear back from the county. But of course, I think it is important that we try to get an EMS unit located closer to our residents. So that's kind of the holdup. But we're still moving full force once we hear back from Dare County.
Thank you, Andy. If you would go ahead and plan monthly at these meetings to keep us updated on that project, I'd appreciate it.
Yes,
I know
sir.
council would too.
Yes, we
I
would.
appreciate it.
And then also just welcome Ms. Walker and Mr. Pruitt. And looking forward to working with both of you guys, and congratulations, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir.
It's awkward, very awkward sitting here. I don't think I'm in the same room or something.
It is awkward, trust me. Casey, do you have anything, sir?
Just congratulations to all you guys, and
Thank
welcome,
you.
Ms. Walker, Councilman Walker. And I don't know why I'm sitting beside this guy now. Right here. Yeah, I don't know why this happened, but it did, so I'm stuck with it.
Don't leave, I got a quick question for you after the meeting. David Hines, we spoke earlier, and now it's time to hear from you folks. Dave?
All right, well, congratulations to Charlotte and Jeff, and of course, Craig. Congratulations to you as the new mayor.
Thank you.
Andy, thank you, and Rob and staff, and that's really, well, one other thing I have to say, We had a public comment tonight on some of our accessory dwelling unit situations. You know, I don't know how about going about it, but I think we have inadvertently, we need to look at that again and study the ramifications of what we've done.
Agreed. Thank you. Lynn?
Welcome, Mayor Garris.
Thank you.
And Jeff, glad you're still here. And Charlotte, welcome.
Thank you.
And before I forget, yes, Dave, we do need to address that. We don't have a specific setback for primary dwellings. And a lot of the residences are set to the rear of their property, giving them a larger front yard, or perhaps that's where the wetlands are, or for whatever reason, a lot of the homes are set back. So if we can get Rob to revisit that, I would like to see that happen also. I think accessory dwelling units are important to the town as long as they are kept to a respectable size and not impact the neighborhoods. Yeah, and thank you for bringing that up, David. It's going to be different, getting used to the new positions for everybody, and I, for one, am happy for Gary that he is moving on to private life, and I'm also very sad because I have enjoyed working with him so much. The man has more knowledge than we have been able to tap into, and hopefully he'll continue to be willing to share it with him when we call him and ask him to explain something. Andy, I'm glad the Boy Scouts enjoyed the flags. They
appreciated it.
were sitting around in a box. We weren't using them. It was a whim we had one 4th of July to have hundreds of flags out.
They were a lot.
So they went in the box, and now the Boy Scouts had a good time with them at the Manio Christmas Parade. And other than that, thanks to all the town. Everybody have a wonderful Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we'll come back and be here next year.
Thank you, Lynn. Jeff?
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank Hunter that put the markers. I did receive a call where somebody had, right after we dedicated the trail, it wasn't marked very well, and it was easy to get turned around. And so there was some signage put in, and the trail markers put in by Hunter are a fantastic way for people to stay on the trail, and we certainly appreciate that. Andy, I'd like to thank you for all you've done. The last 8 years, when you came for your job, the one thing I asked was to be able to still live here. And I'm still living here, and I thank you for that. The people haven't run me out of here yet. Thank you, staff. Everything you do, it reflects back on us, and if it weren't for your good job that you do, then people would think a whole lot less of us, I can tell you that. So thank you very much. Welcome, Charlotte.
Thank you, Jeff.
Congratulations, Mayor.
Thank you, Jeff. Congratulations to both of you. Charlotte?
I'm just proud to be here, and I appreciate all the orientation that I got. Andy, that was an amazing event, and thoroughly enjoyed that, and that was wonderful. So, and congratulations to both of you, of course.
Thank you.
And I just look forward to the future.
Thank you, Charlotte. I've got a couple more comments, but before I do, I have my first proclamation as mayor. But I'll make it this time. Office of the Mayor, Town of Kitty Hawk, NC proclamation. And we're talking about the two gentlemen whose pictures are hanging at the back of our meeting room right now, Orville and Wilbur Wright. Whereas Orville and Wilbur Wright are credited with launching the aerial age on December 17th, 1903 by flying the world's first successful motor-operated airplane. And whereas the First Flight Society, a nonprofit aviation organization founded in 1927, celebrates the accomplishments of the Wright brothers and helps educate the world about aviation. And whereas on December 17th of each year, the First Flight Society celebrates the 12 seconds that changed the world. And whereas the town of Kitty Hawk is proud to support and be a part of the society's celebration and festivities, now therefore I, Craig Garris, Mayor of the town of Kitty Hawk, do hereby proclaim and recognize Friday, December 17th, 2021, as the 118th Wright Brothers anniversary of powered flight. Signed by me, Craig Garris, Mayor. Andy and I will be, and of course, anyone else who wants to attend the annual December 17th events at the Wright Brothers, Andy and I will be attending, so love to have some more if somebody would like to go with us. I believe it starts at 8:30 in the morning.
Just watch for the flyover.
Watch for the flyover. And
Mr. Mayor.
again, I am, it does feel awkward. I agree with you, but it's a good awkward, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate the great comments about Mayor Perry. I'm sure I'll be calling him. We all will. He's a smart man, and he has done a lot for this town. We owe him a lot. Thank you to the staff. Thank you to everyone that's here tonight and tuned in. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We will see you January 10th. We've got another special assignment before we get out of here, so if you would stand by. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Second?
Here we go for my first time. Meeting is adjourned.
Where do we stand?